Hey there. So installation agreement. So after you get the customer pre-approved, or if it's a cash deal, you'll be sending them the installation agreement. You'll receive an email from BRS support. That email will come to you. You cannot sign it on your side. The customer also receives that email. If they're working on their phone, I usually try to pull it up on my screen, and so it's a bigger screen so that I can go through it with them. If they have a laptop, then I usually don't worry about it. So here's what it looks like. You'll have the customer X out a couple areas where it says okay or cookies or something like that. Why is this not? There we go. Okay. First part, you're gonna love it. And why is this not working with me? Come on, you. Okay. First part, I always point out, we do have a great referral bonus. You get $500 for the first person that you help go solar, but then it bumps up to $1,000 for the second, and everyone else after that, they get a $1,500. So it's a substantial amount. So I always say it's better than mud in the eye. So keep that in mind. You know, your friends, your neighbors are going to be asking about solar. Give them my card. I'll help them out, and then you can, get additional money. I always make a joke saying that really the objective is to really create a pyramid scheme with your neighbors and your friends. So you can add the joke or you can keep it out. Then the second part is basically just a lot of the utility companies, including now Xcel Energy, require us to get what's called the insurance declarations. The insurance declarations, what those are is, for the homeowner, they have the homeowner's insurance, just tells, this is the amount that their house has covered. But in particular, these utility companies are looking for liability. So the liability amount, usually it's around $300,000 that's required or above. For larger systems, it could be $500,000 or more. When it gets to the utilities department, when you actually go and get those verified to get to FDC, they'll tell you whether or not that you need more or not. The other aspect is you want to have the insurance declarations up to date. So if they're going to expire within 45 days, you're going to want to, contact the insurance company to get a renewal right away so that you have that. This allows us to contact the insurance agent. So this is really a pro tip for you guys. If you're in the appointment and they don't have the insurance declarations right there, ask what their insurance agent's name is and their company's name is, the insurance agent. Put that in the notes, because you as a rep, by them signing this part, you have the ability to actually go and talk to that insurance agent and get that information from them. So they sign that. Second part is just permission for us to inspect the house. So I always say, they're going to come take a look at the roof, they're going to take a look at the attic, take a look at the main panel, just to make sure there's no surprises. So that allows our site surveyor to come out there and do that. So they sign there. Then here, I scroll down to these numbers here, and I just verify whether or not these numbers correspond with the proposal that we talked about. You don't want to get in a situation that they sign it and then you're like, oh shoot, I sent the wrong proposal. So just check that right away, so you don't have the customer have to sign a couple times and then you're on the welcome call and it's just a hassle. So those numbers, and then all of this is just legalese. So, and that's what I explained to them. Most customers, they'll just flow with it. After I show them the numbers, I say then you initial these. They can read through them, and you can take your time and read through them. But most of the time, they don't. Some clarifying questions are, as far as actual utility rates may go up and down, and actual savings, if any, may vary. historical rates. So that stuff, what I basically say to them, this is based upon your kilowatts from last year. That's what you sent to us. So if you get an EV car or a hot tub or something like that, your usage is going to go beyond what this solar system was intended to produce. So then you're going to receive an electric bill from the company. If you that's one of the things that they usually have questions about. The offset amount is not guaranteed. That's part of that part. Approval of your application to government or utility incentive is not guaranteed. You agree to review all tax credits with a tax professional. So all those things, I mean, my go-to statement is always, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I don't even play one in the movies. You don't want to take any tax or legal advice. You want to talk to a professional about that. And usually they're just totally fine with it. Then scroll down here, and this is where I really emphasize to the customer. I say this is the most important part of the contract. So if they have any questions and they have any hesitancy and they're like, oh, I have to read through all this, I have to call my accountant, I have to, just say, totally understand how you feel. Just know this part, let's read through this together, and you can go through it together. So any contract that you sign in most states, like the state of Minnesota or the state of Colorado, you always have 3 days to cancel that. So that's what the first part says. But we extend that, so anything that is after the preceding statement, for legalese, that second part supersedes that first one. So we extend that 3 days from receiving the final design. So they're going to come out, they're going to do the site survey, then they're going to send you the final design. You still have 3 days after that to make your final decision. If you decide for whatever reason not to move forward, you just email us back and say canceled. There's no penalties. That usually, I want to say that usually shuts them up. You know what I mean. They usually go ahead and sign after that. Notice of cancellation. If they see that, they'll be like, what is this? I can't sign this. What is this? Let me back up. On this part, the date will show today's date, but then again say, well, it's extended 3 days after the sites are receiving the final design. And then just reassure them again that when they do the welcome call, the corporate will also confirm that. This is if they want to cancel, if any time. Some customers are, really want to have all their T's crossed, their I's dotted, make sure that we're not pulling the, rug out of them or putting the sheet over their head, whatever the term is. They can sign this. Otherwise, what's good enough is if they email us and email support a cancellation, as long as it's within that 3 days time frame after receiving the final design, that's good enough in writing. I've never ever had a situation where there's been an issue regarding cancellations. We're not going to. Yeah, that's not where we make our money, guys. We're not gonna risk our reputation for a customer that doesn't want to go forward with solar. But if it is after those 3 days, they do have to understand that they are going to get charged a penalty, and I believe right now the penalty is $1,250. But that's after those 3 days. So just let them know that. And then more legalese, and that's usually what I say. And then that bottom signature is about the same as the top, where I don't give any tax or legal advice. I don't play a lawyer or an accountant. Even in the movies, don't take any advice from me for tax or legal. And they usually sign that, initial that. You hit finish and finalize, or I can't remember what it is on PandaDoc. Make sure that that happens before calling the welcome call, before calling support. Then you'll do the welcome call after that. If you don't have this done, they will not do a welcome call with you. they'll hang up and you have to finish it. So sometimes that's frustrating because you've been on the line for 20 minutes or whatnot, and then it's not finished. So don't get in that situation in the first part. Okay, thanks.